Hello and welcome to the latest show from Fantasy Football Scout, looking at the FIFA 2022 World Cup. We have an eye on the stats over the group games of matches so far, and we have a round of 16 to add into the mix for that as well, so even more stats. And we're going to be looking for the best picks for the quarterfinals. My name is Joe, and joining me to find the toughest tacklers, the slickest passers, the sharpest shooters is Tom Freeman, Fantasy Football Scout's deputy editor. Tom, welcome. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks, Joe. I'm struggling a bit with a cough, so apologies if that annoys anyone today. But hopefully I'll be able to get through it without too much interruption. But aside from that, all good. Enjoying the World Cup.
So. Hopefully that passes soon, and you can be fully 100% fit and ready for the World Cup, and also FPL, which will start probably next week. No, not next week, but it feels like that. It feels like it's coming soon.
Far off, isn't it? Yeah.
Before we look at the fixtures and some of those stats, and also our top picks, let's have a look at those. Let's have a look at what I've got here. Talk Sport again. So there's something exciting happening this week. Tell us all.
Yeah. So we've spoken about it a few times on this video. It's the Talk Sport World Cup fan zone, which is down under the arches at Waterloo. They're basically taken over the area. Every World Cup game is shown. Massive TVs, food, drink, TalkSport Q&A business going on as well. So sounds quite good. And we are all going to be down there tomorrow for the Netherlands-Argentina quarterfinal in the evening. So I think we're aiming to get down there about 6 o'clock. So if you're in the area and you fancy it, I don't think it's too expensive to get in the ticket. The tickets vary each match, so it might be closer to a tenner this one. I'm not too sure about that, but you get a free drink with that ticket, so you can take that off it. It should be a good meetup. There's a few of us from Scout going to be down there.
Oh, right. Who else is going from Scout?
I think quite a few of us. I think Jeff and Chris and Neil, Sam, Az. Yes, I think there's a few. Mark as well. So sorry if I've missed anyway, but there's a good group. So.
Good stuff. Sounds good. I won't be there because I live in Somerset, many miles away. But if I was nearer, I would definitely go because that sounds great.
That should be good.
Okay, let's have a look at these fixtures then, these quarterfinals. Who's playing who? No real surprises, but then Morocco came along, and so they upset the apple cart. But looking at Friday, the 9th of December, we've got Croatia against Brazil and Netherlands, Argentina. So just before we look at those stats and our final sort of picks, who do you fancy for this day then, this Friday, in these two matches?
I think you've got to fancy Brazil, haven't you? They're the favourites. They've only scored 6 goals at the tournament so far, but they're top for XG. They've dominated all of their games, which I've seen. And I did think Croatia struggled a bit versus Japan. They got through, didn't they, in the end? But I don't think they were that convincing. I think with Croatia as well, the worry is the longer the match goes on, the harder it is for them because the players like Modric and Perisic, given their ages, they have to be withdrawn. They can't last 120 minutes. So I think you're going to heavily back Brazil for this one. And in terms of player picks, I'd be looking at the centre backs from Brazil. I think Thiago Silva, Marquinhos. That's where I'd look. And Paqueta's emerged in midfield. I prefer him to Casemiro, who's a bit more advanced. And then in the official FIFA game, you've got 4 strikers at Brazil. You've got Rafinha, Richarlison, Neymar, who's back now, and then you've got Vinicius Junior as well. And they're all pretty excellent options. I think I prefer Neymar because he's on penalties. He's got that goal and assist threat, where Richarlison just feels like he's a bit more all about the goals. But I like Neymar for this one. If you can fit him in, I'd get him.
I was going to say for the Sky game, because I'm the sort of more the Sky guy on this one. So the centre backs, I agree. They're passing, tackling, but also assist potential. Thiago Silva and Marquinhos, but were both instrumental in Richarlison's amazing goal. So I really good to see them further up the pitch occasionally. I think they're absolutely musts for this game. And yeah, take your pick. Richarlison is a strike, but in the Sky game, Vinicius Junior and Rafinha are more on the midfield side. So
Nice.
it depends where you've got space really. But I've got Richarlison in my team. He's going nowhere. He is obviously. It's just. I mean, confidence for a striker. He is so confident at the moment. You're the number 9 for Brazil, and you're scoring sort of not just a goal at every other game. It's a worldie every other game, and it's quite so. Every time he scores a goal, I think that's the goal of the World Cup, and then he scores another. So.
And I don't know what it's like in Sky, Joe, but he's cheap in the official FIFA game as well. I think he's 7.5. So it's all very well me saying, go for Neymar, but it's $3 million more or $3 million or whatever it is. So basically, that might not be doable for people. So Richarlison, obviously, Brazil number 9.
Yeah.
Never going to be a bad option.
No, definitely. I like him at the moment. I sort of do prefer him marginally to Neymar just for that price reason. But obviously, if you as we go on, get to the semi-final, the finals and stuff, we might want to have them all. Netherlands, Argentina, not as easy to call, perhaps. What do you think?
I think you'd probably back Argentina, wouldn't you? But I think you have to have an Argentina defender for this one. They've given very little away so far. The Dutch have been quite pragmatic, I think, in their matches. So if you're going to look at the Argentine back line, I think Emi Martinez is good. I think Otamendi is good as well. The fullbacks, I never know who's going to start, to be honest, and that's the problem. I think they started Molina and Acuna in the last game, and then I saw something online yesterday saying it might be Montiel and Tagliafico in this one. So that's really difficult. So maybe Emi and Otamendi is the safer play. You can, of course, react in the official FIFA game once we get lineups, though.
We don't really need to mention Messi. I mean, Messi's just a must. But Di Maria could be fit, do we think, for this?
Yeah, I think so. He's obviously got this fitness problem. We don't know how many minutes he's got in the tank, even if he does start. But he's the creator, isn't he, when he's on the pitch?
Yeah.
I backed Enzo Fernandez in the I round, and he didn't do that well, but I still don't think he's a bad pick given his price stack. I think he's only 6 million, so I don't mind that, and I don't mind Alexis McAllister either, one of your boys, Joe. 7 million. So.
Yeah, I'd be tempted. See how far they get. I've got DePaul in my team, who I think is pretty good for Sky in terms of the extra bonus there. A lot of the play goes through him. But if you want your big bucks and your captaincy, shout Messi's your man. Otamendi, a legend in Sky. He's always been when he was at Man City. He was a must-have. He's just a passing machine. I noted that I know Spain are out, but in the Sky game, Rodri has got 200 plus successful passes in 2 games. And he did in the last game too. It was just, I mean, for people who play the Sky game, for that's just incredible. 100 or so is pretty good, pretty amazing. And once you get 60 or 70, you start getting bonus points. So 200 is, you don't get any extra. You just get the accolades from Sky managers who are into stats.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy game. I mean, Spain, that's just the way they play, isn't it? It's just these little short passes. But Morocco, they stood firm, didn't they? And Spain didn't create a great deal against them, despite having that. Having the ball. I don't know what the possession was. It's probably close to 80% or something.
Okay, so there are those tips there. So we think that Brazil and Argentina are going to go through. So there are the 2 main teams we'd be looking to get any transfers or players in.
If you do think Croatia and Netherlands are going to go through, I think it's probably Perisic. And then from the Dutch, probably Dumfries or Blin, the wing-backs, or Depay or Gakpo. I think they're the main kind of targets for the game. Yeah,
we all got rid of Dumfries after doing nothing in the group rounds, and then he came on with an exceptional score, creating every goal or scoring them. Let's move on to Saturday, 10th December. Morocco against Portugal first. Let's go for that. I'm going to say Portugal, but I don't know now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Portugal will probably have too much for them, but I have really enjoyed watching Morocco. They've been all about like counter attacks, and the wide players are the ones you want to target in the game. So on the right, it's Hakimi and Ziyech, and on the left, it's Mazraoui and Boufal, and they're the players that if you think Morocco are going to get a result here, I think they're the players you want to look at. But having watched Portugal earlier this week, the firepower they've got in that team is exceptional. And I just think that I think Aguerd might be out for Morocco, the West Ham centre-back, tomorrow. That's one to monitor. So if he's out, that's a big blow. And then suddenly you're going to be looking at Portugal's attackers and thinking, well, yeah, they can do well out of this one.
So is it worth going with their new attacker or keeping faith with their old attacker?
Well, Gonçalo Ramos was brilliant the other night, wasn't he? Came in for Ronaldo, hat-trick and assist. I think he got 21 points or something crazy like
I saw
that.
Ronaldo's face was that meme with the guy with the seething, but he's got a smiley face mask on. It's like, yeah, this is your replacement, your young replacement. He's just scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, and he's going to be full of confidence now, isn't he? But the only issue is, how do you fit him in this official FIFA game? Because you want Messi, you want Mbappe, and you probably want a Brazil attacker. So that's why Bruno Fernandes, for me, has been so popular and why he's been in every week for me, because it's that midfielder and there isn't many good ones.
Yeah.
He'll probably be on penalties with Ronaldo off the pitch as well. And if you don't fancy Mbappe against England, I think Fernandes is probably the captain for that day.
I think so. I was tipping Bernardo Silva last week, but that's for the Sky game just because he is also involved. So if you can't quite afford Fernandes and you want a sort of a cut price midfield option in the Sky game, I still think Silva is a good get. He always seemed quite involved. And as we know, he's got a goal and an assist in him. He mentioned England-France. Mbappe reluctantly is an England fan. Mbappe might be my captain this day. But I don't know. England are actually one of the top performers in all the metrics.
Yeah, I mean it's the first properly good side England have faced, I think, isn't it? We played, USA and Senegal did cause us problems. I know we were comfortable winners against Senegal, but for the first 30 minutes, it wasn't great, was it? And so this feels like the first proper test. And I think, like you said, Joe, I think that Mbappe versus Walker matchup could be key in that one. And whoever comes out on top of that could do well. France are really strong in attack. You've got Griezmann, you've got Mbappe, Dembele, Giroud. And then for England, France have given up chances. I don't think defensively they look that stable at this World Cup. So I think a midfield punt in the official FIFA game for an England midfielder is actually where I'd look, because again, I can't fit Kane in. No. So I'd probably be looking at, I prefer Foden if he's going to start.
Yeah.
Then probably Saka, but he might have, we spoke about Theo Hernandez quite a bit on these videos, haven't we, Joe? And you do feel that because that left side for France is going to be so key with Hernandez and Mbappe, Saka might have a bit of defensive work to do there. Okay. So maybe I prefer Foden. And Bellingham as well. Yeah. He's an option. I mean, he didn't take a shot, I don't think, against Senegal, but he's obviously a player who's taken the World Cup by storm, hasn't he? And I think it's nice when Henderson and Rice are in there. It might give him a bit more license to get forward. So I don't think he's a bad option, but I would take something like Foden over him, I think. Yeah,
I think for France, all those players you mentioned there for France, Hernandez and Mbappe. For England, for the Sky game, Stones and Maguire are passing machines. They're good for bonus, but I do think they're going to concede. So if you were to get them in, or if you already got them and considering keeping them, it's more this ceiling is not going to be very high. I don't think they're just sort of they're going to get you some extra points, some bonus points in the Sky game, but I just think they're going to concede. If they don't, though, they're going to have an absolute monster score because if this is a 0-0, then Stones and Maguire's Stones in particular's passing is going to be absolutely huge with that clean sheet. So that's what you're sort of gambling on really with this one.
I think both sides score. I mean, just because I've been more impressed with both of them in an attacking sense than defensively. Maguire and Stones don't fill me with that much confidence. No. And even Varane and Upamecano and Lloris, I think England will be able to score past them. So, but you never know. Okay. It's been a World Cup of surprises, hasn't it? So,
yes, indeed. Let's have a look at some stats then. So these are defenders. Now I've sorted this because what we want a defender who's going to assist. We want a defender who's going to get some extra points there. So we've got, I've sorted this by chances created per 90. This shows what they're doing per 90 game. And Hernandez, who you recommended last week for France, is sort of in a league of his own, really. He's creating at least three chances per 90, which is absolutely huge. Then you got Guerrero at Portugal, nearly two, and then you got Shaw for England, Dalot at Portugal, Trippier for England, Marquinhos at Brazil, and Hakimi at Morocco. It's just Hakimi there is below a chance per 90, but the rest are all creating a chance or two per 90. They're just under two rather. So these are all good options if you either want to keep them, or get them in, or use your limited transfer. In the official game, you've got. I'm presuming you do have a sprinkling of transfers each round.
Yeah, I think we've got 5 for this round.
Oh, okay,
so
5.
Plenty. You can wait for lineups. You can react to that. There's plenty of changes that you can make, and they're all good on that list. Aside from Trippier, who's lost his place, but everybody else on there, I'd happily include in the official FIFA game. For this round, and Guerrero made a real impact in the last round. He was a bit of a surprise starter ahead of Cancelo, but if he gets the nod in this one, he's probably one of the best defenders to own this week, I think.
Yeah, definitely. He's certainly a defender I'll look at. One other point is that the first matches are we know the lineup then, so we can make our moves. They're the 3 o'clock. Croatia, Brazil, so the 3 o'clock. Morocco and Portugal, 3 o'clock. This is UK time. So we'll know them. So we will know the lineups for making our moves. Worth mentioning for Sky, the top for tackling tiers, Kanate and Hakimi. Alexandro, who's a player I picked last week, but obviously didn't make it because of injury. So if we start seeing him, he is good for tackling bonus. And Dani Alves as well for Brazil. So the Brazil defence really good there for that. And successful passing, if you love the defenders, Otamendi, Stones, Thiago Silva, and Pavard for France. They're the ones who are going to get you their bonus points there. Let's move on to midfielders. Okay, so I've once again sorted this by chances created, but I've included successful passes per 90 for those who need those extra points in the Sky game. So we've got Di Maria. This is why we want. He's once again in a bit of a league of his own. Chances created 2.49 per 90. So we want him back basically. So we'd be keen to see him back on the team sheet. Paqueta for Brazil is next, and then Bruno Fernandes. So I've highlighted both of them because Fernandes could be a good captaincy shout. Paqueta are going a bit under the radar, I would imagine. But yeah, he does look good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did the other night, and he's next to Casemiro, so he has a little bit more license to get forward. And because of the lack of midfield options, he's somebody I'm looking at for this week to come in. I think he's 7 million in the official FIFA game. And playing in that Brazil side with so much kind of attacking flair in there, I think he'll get his share of. If they're going to score 3 or 4, he'll probably get an assist or something like that, and that could be good. So yeah, I like him.
Okay, we've also got in the list Foden for England, McAllister, Argentina, Otavio, Portugal, Bernardo Silva, who I recommended last week. So still in the mix there. Silva creating 1.32 chances per 90. Kovacic at Croatia, Perisic at Croatia. Perisic is defender in the Sky game, midfielder in the official game. And part of an attacking 3 in actual real life. So he's good to get in. And he scored last week. He was one in your recommendations. Tukamini of France. I have him in my team. He's a passing guy.
Looking at those stats there. Wow.
Yeah, he's good. He's good for so out of all of those who are going to get passing bonus, successful passes per 90. He is the guy there. So he's the guy who's got a slight chance of creating a goal, as well as good passing stats. So for Sky, he's great there. The assist potential is obviously something to bear in mind for the official game. Let's have a look at these forwards. So same metrics here. Shots on target. That's what we want. Mbappe, Messi are top. So I think they've got. I think they're our captains. really. But Rafinha for Brazil, Saka, Richarlison, Giroud, Vinicius Junior, if he is obviously he's a forward in the official game, and Neymar as well. So yeah, I mean Mbappe, Messi. Okay, we've all got them. We're all going to get them if we haven't got them. Who is your favoured third one then?
I think it's got to be Brazil, and there's four that feature in that table alone, isn't there? And so I think it's if I can get to Neymar, I'm going to, but it might be. I've currently got Richarlison, so it might take a bit of manoeuvring around to be able to get. So I might just stick with Richarlison for this one, but I think that third, I think Mbappe, Messi plus a Brazil striker is the way you want to go this week.
Right, yeah. Okay, so taking all of that in mind, we've had a look at the fixtures, we've had a look at the stats as well. So these are our top 3 picks. Just a reminder before we do that to subscribe and press that like button. It really helps us out there. And so let's have a look at these top 3 picks then. Okay, so I've got a picture of Lionel Messi with his lovely tats. And surprise, surprise, he's top of both our lists. So we'll get you run through your 3 first. We've got a striker, a midfielder, and a defender. So who are your top 3 picks for the benefit of those who can't see? You're listening to the podcast version.
Yeah, so the defender is Guerreiro from Portugal. Bit of a surprise inclusion over Cancelo last week, but he linked up really well with João Felix. He's got goal, assist threat, and I think Portugal are going to have a lot of the ball in this match. I think Morocco are going to be camped quite deep. So I think if you've got a creative fullback like Guerreiro, it could be really important in this one. And that kind of leads me on to the midfield pick with Bruno Fernandes as well. I think his creativity will be key. Should be on penalties for the majority of the match, at least until Ronaldo comes on. He's going to be in and around the box, and if it does get congested, if Morocco are defending really deep, he's a player who likes to have a shot from range, doesn't he? So you can see a long ranger going in. So yeah, I love those 2 Portugal picks this week. And then top forward pick, Messi, feels like a bit of a no-brainer this week. Everything goes through him, doesn't it? He's your day one captain. And it's only really Mbappe who beats him for stats in this World Cup. But I see that France-England match as a bit closer to call. I think Argentina can beat the Dutch by 2-0, and so that's why I like Messi in this one.
Okay. Messi is my top choice as well for the Sky game. Fernandes as well. I've got to work out a way to get him in because I need some players to drop out. I've only got Alba at the moment who needs to go, and so Fernandes is a player I'm looking at. So I think some other of my players might make way just through losing. So I'll get him in there. So he looks good for the Sky as well. And I put a player that I already own, but it's for other people. If you don't have Marquinhos for Brazil, get him in because he and Silva, it's a great partnership there. I like Marquinhos as well because just of the just for the passing stats, he's got that creativity stats. He might be going slightly under the radar, not as a Brazil defender, but just in terms of his creativity. Surprise popping up near the box occasionally. So I think he's a must-have there. But I think for me personally, I'll probably be looking at Guerreiro as a player to bring in. But I've got a couple of Brazil defenders, and if they progress, which I presume they will, I'll be looking to get more, as many as I can. I think I can only have 5, but I'll see. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll have just. I'm not sure who I would get. Just get everyone in, get all their subs in, just get the whole lot.
Alisson had a good game the other night, didn't he? Against
he did,
didn't he? So yeah, he might be one to go for as well if you need a goalie.
He did, yeah. He's in top form at the moment. So Tom, thanks so much for joining me. It's really great to get some of those quarterfinal picks in order, really. See who we're going to captain, have a look at those stats, and good luck to all those playing, whichever format you're playing for the fantasy in the World Cup. And also, it'd be good to see. I won't see those that turn up to the TalkSport event on Friday. But those that are, do enjoy yourselves and do say hello to all of the Fantasy Football Scout team that you see there. Thanks for watching.
Cheers, Joe. Thank you.